Hello, my loves. Welcome back for another video. I am so appreciative for all of the love that was given to me on last week's video. We discussed how to really shift our identity and completely change and rewrite our story. Today's video is definitely going to snowball off that topic because we are going to discuss how to step away from distractions and actually get things done. This is essentially all about refocusing, isolating yourself, and really getting grounded in a healthy way. When I think about my own personal life and how I was able to create the life of my dreams and also become the woman of my dreams, because it's one thing to attain a goal and to actually have it, and another thing to maintain that goal, to maintain what you built. It takes habits, discipline, and a specific type of mentality to truly keep what you worked for. You start to get really giddy about your future and what your year is going to look like, and then when it comes time to actually step away from the mess, get away from the distractions, and refocus, that is where you fall short. You have a really difficult time saying no, creating boundaries, having morals, being someone who can actually trust yourself. And I really do believe that when we are creating our best selves, we need to have a lot of trust in ourselves and discipline within so that we can see our manifestations come into reality. If you guys enjoy my content and enjoy videos like this, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below. I absolutely love having you guys a part of the family here. And we just discuss everything women empowerment, self-love, self-care. So if that sounds like your kind of channel, then make sure to subscribe. All right, let's get into today's topic. Let's talk about today's sponsor, which is AG1. First and foremost, I am obsessed. I wish I knew about this sooner. They actually sent me a box of the goodies that I am going to be talking about today a few months back, and I was a little bit of a skeptic. I really wasn't sure exactly what I was going to get from it, but when I did my research and looked up what the benefits of this particular product are, I realized that it was something that was truly missing from my life. So in 2025, I want to promote more things that have to do with wellness and have to do with just getting better and being more on top of your goals. And one of my own personal goals was to actually give myself the supplements and vitamins that I need to feel better, to be a little bit more agile, to be more alert, to feel like I am supplementing things that are possibly missing during certain seasons of my life, like vitamin D, which is in this, and B12. So what I absolutely love about AG1 is it's essentially like a nutrient-packed drink with vitamins and certain things that are going to make you feel really great and are going to help promote a healthier way of living. It's going to also help with your gut health, which is so important for me. I have definitely struggled with gut issues back in the day, and I just love that this just promotes an overall healthier mood. And if you hate taking pills and you just hate taking a bunch of different pills and supplements throughout the day, everything is pretty much packed in this drink. It has a very interesting flavor. It was something that I was a little bit intimidated by at first, the color of it, but it tastes kind of like a faint matcha taste a little bit. I don't know. I really like it. It's simple. You just mix it with water, you put the powder in, and it's just like the most incredible drink. I like to have it first thing in the morning. It energizes me, it boosts me, and as someone who is intermittent fasting and doesn't want to eat too much in the morning, it's the perfect thing for me to have right as soon as the day begins. You're going to go to drinkag1.com/HaleyGamba and save $20 off your first subscription. Thank you so much, AG1, for sponsoring today's video. Now everyone get your supplement drinks so you guys can feel so much more energized. All right, guys, let's get into the rest of today's topic. Okay, the first way to truly step away from distractions and stay on track, and this is going to require a specific mental shift, and it has to do with you demonizing yourself or punishing yourself for having selfish habits. Now, what I mean by this is you have to stop making certain things in your life seem bad. I have a few examples here of what we view as punishing others or selfish rather than a self-love act. So essentially what I mean by this is leaving a function early, staying at home on a weekend, only answering your phone for long chats during off hours. Let's just say you want to stay sober, refusing a drink, scheduling proper plans according to your goals, spending less time on things that don't fulfill you. These are things that for some reason you demonize. You demonize yourself for not being fun, for not being flippant, for not being the crazy, cool, whole down for anything friend, when in reality, you are punishing yourself long term because you're not able to create boundaries, you're not able to say no, and you're trying really hard to view habits that have to do with you bettering yourself as selfish and not actually beneficial to others. When in reality, filling your own cup only helps everyone in your life. It allows you to recenter, refocus, become the best version of yourself so that you can be happy and amazing to everyone as well. You really have to reprogram your brain to view certain habits and behaviors as progress and not as selfishness. When you make the decision that this is your life and you are the author of it, everything starts to go as planned. When you allow yourself to bend your rules, to break them, to not truly align with your higher self, that is when you start to get back off track. It's your fear of judgment and coming off a certain way that is holding you back from being your best self. If you just went with your gut, you'd be way more capable. Intuition and gut instinct is very real. So if you know, I probably shouldn't be answering the phone right now, but I feel bad because this person's calling me and I just want to answer, that already is not a good sign that you're trusting yourself. To trust yourself to stay on track, you have to say, you know what? Let me send a quick little text that says, hey, I'm busy right now. I can call you later. How does this work for you? And if they answer and say that time doesn't work for me, but what about this time? You can kind of reorganize that and schedule a phone call. I find that so many people are distracted by external factors, and that is the reason why they're suffering. Whenever I think about my own personal day, I actually cannot get as many things done as I think. I will write down an entire list of the craziest schedule for myself, and I can get about half of that done because I know myself. I'm a creative person. Certain things take more time than I realize, and I have to also allocate time for lunch, dinner, spending time with my dogs, and whatever and whatnot. That you really do have to utilize the hours in your day wisely. So knowing that about myself, I really have to step back and say, this is my isolation period. I'm only able to do things in this specific window. I need to focus, and I can't be allowing people to get in the way of that. And I am someone who can get sucked into peer pressure. I am someone who can go with the flow and be fun. Knowing that about myself, I had to get very strict. This requires you to actually change certain things in your own mental space. Me knowing that about myself made me become tougher in other areas. I had to work on my codependency. For many years, I really liked spending a lot of my time with my friends. I couldn't imagine a day without talking to my friends or spending time with them or doing something that was able to just have my time be wasted. But now that I am someone who needs to be reliant on myself and I need to be responsible and have integrity and I have goals to reach, that requires me to work on my codependency. That requires me to work on my FOMO. That allows me to work on me being addicted to chaos and start being addicted to my solitude and space. So this requires a mental shift that is forcing you to be a more sound and integral human being. So if you say it, you do it, and you are it, that is a person with integrity. And for many years, I was walking around saying that I was independent, saying that I had good work ethic, saying I was disciplined, but my actions were not showing it fully. And you really have to work on that by changing your mentality around certain things. Eventually, you're gonna be able to balance out certain things in your life that this season will be over. You'll be able to allocate more time for fun and leisure. And this is just an isolation period that requires your undivided attention. Now, we are going to discuss emotional hurdles a little bit later, but the next thing I really want to touch on to really getting on track and staying disciplined and self-isolating properly is to create organized balance. When I want to stick to my goals and isolate in a way that serves me and my life, I think about balance. And not the balance that we lie and call balance, but true balance. Lying balance is like when you say that if you have one healthy meal a week, that's good enough. No, that's you lying to yourself saying, I had vegetables on Monday, so I'm set. No, healthy balance is knowing that the majority of your time is being spent doing what you're supposed to be doing. And the little time that you have left is what you want to do, is the time that you can be more fun, free, and have leisure. So when I find ways to have balance in my life, it's to not go to any too extreme of a route. I definitely don't want to be too lazy, and I don't want to be in work mode 24/7 either. There is a middle ground that we can all really do in our lives. When self-isolating and honing in on yourself, this does not mean to hide away for months at a time like you're Batman, unless that's your personality in a nutshell. out, but for me, it's not. What I like to do is follow some sort of rule where 75% of the time I'm spent working on me. Now, working on me doesn't just mean my career, it means anything that has to do with self. So my hobbies, my self-work, my mental health, that is 75% of the time because that's still helping you align with your goals, dreams, and passions. Not everything has to be super career focused, but it needs to be something that is a focus, right? So when you're focusing on you, you're able to really see things come into fruition. 25% of the time, I don't want to think about myself at all. So I want that to be my social hour. I want that to be when I go out with my friends, when I'm dating, when I'm having certain life experiences. You can even put traveling in that category, or doing any type of mindless task or activity that allows you to just be free and live life. I am a big believer in incorporating mindless fun in your life. You will live a life of passion, creativity, love, and light when you welcome in that into your life. You don't want to be a stoic, hardworking, crazy person all of your life. You will reflect back and be so angry that you spent all of your time doing that. You definitely want to incorporate some mindless tasks and activities for you to just decompress, be positive, and have a good time. I'm a big believer in that. So again, put that in your schedule. That is a part of your balance. This allows you to not go stir crazy and hate the hustle. Self-isolation doesn't mean sitting inside every day, all day. It means sitting inside, getting things done, going to the gym, embarking on certain hobbies, doing mental health work, doing any type of self-growth and exercises that helps better your higher version of yourself. And then you can do anything that's mindless after all of that. So I'm a big believer in doing both. I love the hustle because I manage it well. It has a day, it has a time, and it has an end. Make sure to create that in your life. That is organized balance. Okay, next thing I want to discuss, and this is how to truly help your current situation and to stop doing the same mundane activities that is keeping you from actually staying on track. And that's to create small solutions to your current problems. In order to get a hold of what you're doing incorrectly, you need to start creating solutions in your life. Become solution oriented. So let's just say the phone is an issue and you know that this is an issue in your life. Rather than saying, oh my God, I just wish I was a person who didn't need my phone, and then you just kind of bitch and complain about it forever, but you never actually get a hold of the issue, you are not creating a solution during your isolation period. So start creating solutions. If the phone is an issue, declutter your device, put it on the other side of the room in the morning and the evening, and set a timer for scrolling time. That is a solution to your problem. Let's just say another problem that you have in your life is that you are a negative person and you have imposter syndrome, and it's holding you back from genuinely going towards your career, your activities, your goals, and even just anything that has to do with rebuilding yourself during your isolation period. So if negativity and imposter syndrome is the issue, you need to start creating a solution of having more affirmations in your life, watching YouTube videos or gurus who help you with your self-love journey, and having any type of empowerment content put into your brain. You also want to start improving things that you feel you need to improve on. Rather than being someone who constantly complains of where you fall short, start to improve in the areas where you're not as good. Now, I'm a big believer in aligning with things that you're already good at to make it better. But if there is something in your life that does give you a purpose and a feeling that you enjoy, but you just need to get better at it, improving your skills at it is the only way that you won't have imposter syndrome around that. So definitely get better at fixing your mentality around it, but also improving the thing that you struggle to accept about yourself. Let's just say that exercise isn't being prioritized. Get a gym membership, sign up for classes in advance, do an at-home workout, go for walks after meals. There is definitely a solution to that problem. I know for me that I constantly get in ruts with the gym, and I will just go and end up doing like a really basic workout. So what I like to do in advance is I will make sure that I have a class already picked and I will register for it in advance because I have to show up. I made it a part of my schedule now. This was a solution to a problem I had. I knew that if I went to the gym the next day, I wasn't gonna feel really great about my workout, so I allowed someone who is literally an expert at this create a workout for me because I'm attending a class that is going to be difficult and is going to be challenging to my body. So essentially, all of those examples are just ways for you to incorporate small solutions for maximum potential and life shifts. You You can do it if you put in the work, if you put in the effort. Now, like I said earlier, I wanted to discuss some emotional hurdles because this is a huge part as to why you are still in a distracting headspace. You are not able to stay on track because you have not overcome your emotional hurdles, and that is affecting how you move. A lot of the reason for your inconsistency and inability to fully isolate and connect with your higher self is because you let your emotions run your life. Emotional regulation is huge for you to genuinely see yourself stay on track. We experience so many emotions that can help or hinder our growth. For example, some emotions that we have or some feelings that we possess that can hinder our growth is instability, being impulsive, fear, dying for external validation. These are all things that get in the way of us seeing our growth and potential. You are impulsive, so that has you detouring. You are unstable because you allow everything to dictate how your day goes. So if something happens to you, it throws off your entire mood. You have fear, so it doesn't allow you to take the next steps. You have an external validation issue, so you're not able to self-regulate and validate yourself. How to overcome this? If you're feeling impulsive, practice mindful exercises that allow you to slow down your decision-making process. Sometimes I get like this with food. So for instance, I find that I am impulsive when it pertains to my diet and lifestyle choices because I will allow how I'm feeling in the moment to dictate what I do next. So let's just say I'm driving and I'm a little bit hungry. I will say, oh my God, I want McDonald's. And it will be a very impulsive thought that comes to my mind. And if I acted on that impulsive thought, knowing that I have the funds, I have the vehicle, and I am very much capable of driving my ass to that drive-through, I would follow through with that plan. But taking a step back and trying to cultivate healthier habits to stay on track with my goals, I allow myself to sit in the thought for 10 to 15 minutes. And if after that 15 minutes is up, I still want McDonald's and I think it's the best and most educated decision for my life, then I will go for it. But if it's not, time to have something else. So I am a big believer that if you let something just sit, slow down your thoughts, say, okay, should I do this or do I have food at home? Do I have something that I can make really quick? And usually the answer is yes, and then I will end up making the healthier choice. That has been something that has allowed me to be more mindful about my impulsivity. This also can go for feeling FOMO. You have to ask yourself, if you have the desire to work on your craft, then that's exactly where you need to be. Stop thinking that you need to be somewhere else because you have FOMO. It is natural for us to see somebody on Instagram living their best life, or seeing somebody traveling, or seeing someone get married, or seeing somebody have something really amazing, and us to not feel something. But learn how to emotionally regulate. We are allowed to have a passing feeling and thought and not let it consume us. Having FOMO is the exact same thing. People are gonna go out, gonna have a good time, they're gonna be excited about it, and then life gets back to normal the next day. And you really didn't miss out on anything because you have the burning desire to work on yourself. You need to be where your feet are planted. You need to be where you are meant to be. And if you feel like the most best option for yourself is to stay home and work on this, do that. But if you really are like, you know what, I think I should go out tonight, I need a break, I need to decompress, do that. Trust yourself and make a decision based off of that. But don't do anything off of temporary feelings. Allow it to be something that you think is the best option for you. I am so happy that I spent a majority of my early 20s working on myself, because now I'm able to enjoy myself a little bit more freely and incorporate even more social balance in my life, because I don't need to figure my life out. My life is figured out. I'm really happy with where I'm at, and it's really all about just maintaining that. So now that I've been able to cultivate healthy habits in the past, I can welcome in more social interactions now. It's really a sacrifice worth making. Okay, and the last thing that is going to allow you to stay on track and stop being distracted is to become a strict and reliable person. You know, one thing that I think is not discussed enough is that we are able to design ourselves in a way that best suits what we're trying to do if we accept and take radical responsibility for our actions. So as someone who was unstable at times, a little unreliable, a little self-focused, but I was a little lazy, I would come up with all of these wonderful ideas and never do anything with them. And that was my story for a long time. I chose to rewrite my story and become a different person. I decided that in order to have discipline, refocus, self-isolate, and start getting the things that I want, I had to become a strict and reliable person. So there is nothing wrong with an identity shift and being more serious. Having a bedtime, a morning routine, a gym schedule, a brain dump, a meal prep, meditation practice, no alcohol during the week, a schedule to follow is healthy steps that implement the best you during this period. So if you want to start having a more strict and reliable personality that is aligned with a disciplined and self-isolated version of you, start creating specific habits that allow you to be that person. If you have a bedtime, that's something that you have to stick to. If you have to have a meal prep, that allows you to be someone who can eat a certain way. So being lenient and flippant will only keep you in the same place. Lean into your femininity during this time as well. You don't need to do everything the hard way, but you can do it the efficient way. I think for a long time, I always thought that I needed to have like this masculine aura or have a work ethic like a man to get all of my desires. But in reality, that was not necessary. I'm a woman. Things flow and come easier when I am leaning into my creativity and leaning into my femininity. It looks better, it performs better, it does better when I'm more feminine with it. So again, I always lean into how I feel and my performance level, and I honor that and go from there. I actually get more stuff done and I do it well because it feels natural and aligned with the process. So I am a big believer in accomplishing all of your desires really just has to do with you taking a step back, knowing thyself, creating habits, mindset shifts, and hacks that really allow you to get deeper with your purpose and get deeper with what you want. I hope these tips helped you guys as much as it helped even just discussing them. It really just allows me to reflect on all of the things that I truly did that have allowed me to be the woman I am today. I am not perfect, but I am always putting in effort to be the best version of myself. And anytime that I'm able to sit back and do an audit and do a check, I'm really proud of how far I've come. So I'm hoping that my own particular tips and advice can really help guide you in the right direction so that you don't fall off track again. And if you do, you're able to pick yourself back up pretty easily and start aligning with your best self. I love you guys so much. Thank you again for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye everyone. Mwah.